The Eagles are on the brink of something special. And if you've been following this team as closely as I have, you know that every game from here on out matters. This Sunday night, Philadelphia hosts the Detroit Lions, and it is shaping up to be one of the biggest matchups of the season. The stakes are high, not just for pride, but for positioning in the NFC playoffs. Both teams have been grinding all year, showing flashes of brilliance, but also moments that leave fans holding their breath. This game has everything: talent, strategy, history, and the kind of intensity that only a primetime matchup in South Philadelphia can bring. Let's start with the Eagles' offensive line, because if you want to understand how this team wins, you have to understand how they protect their quarterback and pave the way for the run game. Cam Jurgens has been dealing with a knee injury, something that's been lingering over the last few weeks, and Lane Johnson hasn't had it easy either, nursing an ankle injury from the game against Green Bay. The good news is that both men practiced recently, showing signs of returning to form. You could feel the change in South Philadelphia this week as temperatures dropped and the grass shifted from a deep dark green to that lighter, crisp color that tells you fall football is in full swing. Even the toughest defensive linemen were sporting long sleeves and sweatpants, a subtle reminder of just how grueling the season can get. Seeing Jurgens and Johnson out there is a huge boost for the team, because both of these players bring a level of experience and athleticism that makes the Eagles' offense click. Jurgens' absence was felt earlier in the season, particularly in Week 7 against the Minnesota Vikings. That's when Jalen Hurts really stepped up under center, and the Eagles leaned more heavily on play action and deep shots downfield. Running back Saquon Barkley even pointed out that sometimes it's easier to find momentum running behind a quarterback under center, and when Jurgens was on the field, the run game flourished. It wasn't perfect, but it was effective, and that's what makes him such a valuable piece of this lineup. His ability to get out on pull blocks and create space allows Hurts to operate freely, and it keeps defenders honest, which opens up opportunities both on the ground and in the passing game. Brett Toth has filled in admirably in Jurgens' absence, but the team is simply more complete when the veteran center is healthy. Lane Johnson, on the other hand, has long been regarded as one of the best right tackles in football, and even with his injury, he's been a stabilizing force when available. His presence on the line cannot be overstated, especially considering the Lions' defensive front. Detroit has one of the most aggressive and effective pass rushes in the league. Their edge players can change a game in an instant, and the Eagles know that. That respect is mutual. Philadelphia doesn't take any opponent lightly, and heading into this Sunday night contest, they're preparing for a battle against a team that is physical, disciplined, and extremely talented. The Lions rank near the top of the league in sack rate and pressures, and for Philadelphia, having Jurgens and Johnson healthy and ready to go is crucial to both the running and passing games. Jurgens has had his ups and downs this season, especially coming off back surgery in the offseason. He's one of the highest-paid centers in the league, and while his performance has been solid, it hasn't always reached elite levels. But what's important is that when he's on the field, the interior of the offensive line functions better, which is critical for a team that relies on balance between running and passing. PFF grades show that he sits right in the middle of the pack among starting centers, but the numbers that matter most, sacks allowed and pressures given up, are what truly highlight his value. He hasn't surrendered a sack, hasn't allowed a quarterback hit, and has only given up 6 pressures, which is remarkable when you consider the caliber of defenses he's facing. Johnson, meanwhile, continues to impress. His pass blocking skills remain elite, and even though his run blocking numbers have dipped slightly, he's still a dominant presence. Together, these two linemen form one of the most formidable interior lines in the NFL, and their contributions could be the difference between victory and defeat against Detroit. Moving to the Eagles' defensive side, the edge rusher rotation has been a revelation. Against the Green Bay Packers, the team showcased a mix of youth and experience, and the snap counts revealed just how deep this rotation has become. Jalen Phillips, newly acquired, immediately made an impact, playing the most snaps among the team's edge rushers and proving his ability to disrupt both the pass and the run. His blend of speed, power, and aggression has added a new dimension to the defense. Opposite him, Jay Hunt played a solid role, while Nolan Smith and Brandon Graham were limited due to pitch counts and recovery from injuries. Even with those restrictions, the collective impact of these edge rushers has been transformative. The Eagles are now able to rotate players effectively, keep them fresh, and maintain high pressure on opposing quarterbacks, which is exactly what you need against a team like Detroit. What's fascinating about this defense is the way Vic Fangio is managing the second level. Linebackers like Nakobe Dean and Jayad Campbell each bring unique skills, and Fangio has been optimizing their snap counts based on matchups and game flow. Dean's ability to read plays, make stops, and contribute as a blitzer has been invaluable, while Campbell's athleticism offers a different type of impact. It's a careful balance between experience and raw talent, and it's paying dividends as the Eagles navigate a challenging schedule. And then there's the bigger picture. This Sunday night game has huge playoff implications. Heading into Week 11, the Eagles' chances of securing the number 1 seed in the NFC were 35%. Win against Detroit, and those chances jump to 52%. That's the power of this matchup. Philadelphia has historically performed exceptionally well at home in prime time, particularly at Lincoln Financial Field, where the fans and the environment create one of the most intimidating atmospheres in the league. Securing that number 1 seed not only provides home field advantage throughout the playoffs, it sets the stage for a potential repeat of the championship run. Since 2004, every time the Eagles have hosted an NFC championship game, they have emerged victorious. Lincoln Financial Field has proven to be a fortress, especially when the weather turns and the stakes are at their highest. For the players, the coaches, and the fans, this game is more than just a Sunday night contest. It's a pivotal moment in the season that could define how the rest of the year unfolds. As we move deeper into the dynamics of this Eagles versus Lions matchup, one of the most fascinating aspects is how Philadelphia's defensive front has evolved this season. The addition of Jalen Phillips has completely shifted the conversation about the Eagles' edge rush. Coming into this league with a strong reputation under Vic Fangio in Miami, Phillips immediately demonstrated that he could be both a disruptor and a force against the run. Against the Packers, he didn't just rush the quarterback. He controlled the line of scrimmage, setting the edge, forcing backs to change direction, and generally making life uncomfortable for anyone trying to gain yards on the ground. His combination of speed, power, and football intelligence makes him an ideal complement to the veterans like Brandon Graham, even if Graham is gradually being managed with reduced snap counts to extend his career longevity. The snap count strategy itself has been revealing. Against Green Bay, Phillips played 53 out of 68 defensive snaps, the highest of any edge rusher that game, and his impact was immediate. He registered 8 pressures, 2 quarterback hits, and even helped force and recover a fumble on a critical 4th and 1 play. Jay Hunt on the opposite edge contributed effectively with 43 snaps, while Nolan Smith and Brandon Graham were limited due to pitch counts. The smart rotation allows the Eagles to maximize pressure while keeping their players healthy for the stretch run of the season. What's remarkable is that 2 weeks prior, none of these young edge rushers were even expected to play major snaps, and now they're dictating the flow of games. This transformation speaks volumes about the Eagles' front office, coaching staff, and the ability to integrate talent quickly into a high-level system. Moving up to the second level, the linebacker rotation is equally compelling. Nakobe Dean has steadily become a linchpin in the Eagles' defensive strategy. His instincts, ability to diagnose plays, and knack for being in the right place at the right time are reminiscent of the kind of cerebral players that define elite defenses. Dean has taken on more snaps than Jayad Campbell in recent games, particularly at the off-ball linebacker position, because his understanding of the game allows him to read offensive formations and react instantly. He has shown an impressive ability to not only stop the run, but also contribute as a blitzer when needed. In contrast, Campbell provides raw athleticism, versatility, and a more explosive presence on the field, but he's still adjusting to how he fits best within Fangio's defensive scheme. It's a calculated approach. Dean leads in reliability and experience, while Campbell's usage grows as his comfort and conditioning improve. What this means for the Lions is significant. Detroit has a physical, disciplined team up front, and their defensive front can be punishing if given even the slightest advantage. But the Eagles' defensive evolution has allowed them to rotate efficiently and create mismatches. Fangio's scheme thrives on flexibility, and with a mix of young energy and veteran savvy, Philadelphia is capable of controlling the tempo and forcing the Lions to react instead of executing their own game plan. The edge rushers, linebackers, and secondary all feed into a system where the key is consistency and pressure. If Philadelphia can maintain this balance against Detroit's offensive line, it could result in crucial stops and turnovers that tilt the game in their favor. Of course, this game is about more than just personnel. It's about situational football. The Eagles understand the stakes in the NFC playoff race, and mathematically, a win here does more than just keep them on top. It reshapes the entire seeding picture. Entering Week 11, Philadelphia had a 35% chance of securing the number 1 seed. Victory over the Lions bumps that to 52%, and with home field advantage, the implications extend into the postseason. Lincoln Financial Field has consistently been a fortress for the Eagles, particularly in cold weather games, and when the stakes are highest, the atmosphere intensifies. Fans know that the team thrives in this environment, and the players themselves respond to the energy, feeding off the crowd and the pressure of primetime football. From a tactical perspective, there are several key matchups to monitor. The Eagles' offensive line, if fully healthy with Juergens and Johnson, will need to neutralize Detroit's pass rush to give Hurts time to make decisions. Saquon Barkley must find holes quickly, using the momentum and space created by his blockers. On the defensive side, maintaining discipline against the Lions' multifaceted attack will be critical. Detroit has playmakers capable of stretching the field both in the air and on the ground, and the Eagles' ability to limit big plays and generate turnovers could define the outcome. Each snap carries weight, and both teams understand that mistakes in this high-pressure environment are magnified. The mental aspect cannot be overlooked either. The Eagles have been building momentum, finding cohesion in their rotation, and developing confidence in their young players. Phillips, Dean, and Campbell are now integral to the defensive identity, while Juergens and Johnson solidified the offensive foundation. This combination of mental toughness, strategic preparation, and talent execution makes the Eagles a formidable opponent on Sunday night. Detroit respects Philadelphia, and that mutual recognition adds another layer to the intensity. Every play is a test, and every adjustment matters. History, strategy, and individual matchups converge to make this game one of the most important of the season. It's more than just a single win. It's a statement about the Eagles' identity, their resilience, and their pursuit of the number 1 seed. Success here could propel them toward a repeat Lombardi run, riding the momentum of a team that has found rhythm in both offense and defense. Primetime football in South Philadelphia, with a passionate fan base and the tangible weight of playoff implications, creates a perfect storm for a thrilling, high-stakes contest. This game isn't just a chapter in the season. It's a turning point, and the Eagles are ready to define it on their terms. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a revelation that has sent shockwaves through the NFL community, defensive end Josh Sweat has reportedly expressed regret over his decision to leave the Philadelphia Eagles. The confession, whispered through locker room conversations and amplified by insiders close to the player, has sparked a wave of speculation about what truly went wrong and whether a reunion could ever be on the horizon. Sources suggest that Sweat's remorse stems not only from the on-field struggles he's faced since departing, but also from a deep emotional connection to the Eagles' culture, a bond that, by all accounts, never quite faded. Once a cornerstone of Philadelphia's feared defensive front, Sweat thrived under a system that seemed tailor-made for his explosive style. Since moving on, he's been described as unsettled, reportedly struggling to find that same rhythm, that same fire that once defined his tenure in green and white. Those close to the situation describe his comments as more than nostalgia, a genuine longing for the camaraderie, leadership, and intensity that fueled the Eagles' locker room. Some even claim Sweat has privately admitted that leaving was a mistake driven by business, not passion. While he hasn't made any public plea for a return, the rumor alone has fans in Philadelphia buzzing with both excitement and frustration. Could the prodigal pass rusher find his way back home? Or is this simply a case of hindsight hitting hard? Inside the Eagles organization, reactions have been mixed. Some former teammates have voiced support, saying Sweat's honesty reflects his character. Others, however, hint that bridges may have been burned beyond repair. Still, the idea of Sweat back in midnight green is tantalizing. For fans, it's a fantasy rekindling memories of relentless pressure off the edge and the swagger that helped define an era. For now, it remains just that, a rumor, a whisper, a flicker of what once was. But in a league where loyalty and legacy are often overshadowed by contracts and cap space, Josh Sweat's quiet confession feels like something rare, a glimpse of heart amid the noise of the modern NFL. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.